Hey there! So it's day 5, Friday, of One Good Thing a Day. I honestly cannot believe that this week has just paraded through as fast as it has. And, for today, I'm actually going to do another fun one. My one good thing for today that I like about me is I like that I create characters a lot. The best example I have of this is Dungeons and Dragons. I have played Dungeons and Dragons for the last 3 or 4 years now, which is a long ass time. And um, over the course of that, I've created a bundle of characters. So this is where I keep all my character sheets. I've actually got quite a few of them. This is a collection of all of my currently being played characters. There should be, I think, 5 of them. To be fair, 2 of them are technically the same character. It's a Jekyll Hyde thing I came up with. And then also got this, not quite as much, but I have a set of spare characters that I keep just in case somebody dies. Yeah, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a few years, like I said, and my very first creation, his name was Torment. He never got to be played, but he was a tiefling. For those of you who don't know what a tiefling is half human and half devilish influence, I guess you'd call it. So sometime in the past, their ancestry made a deal with a devil or a demon or something, and it corrupted their blood. And now, anytime one of them procreates, their offspring is infected as well. So they're like people, but usually with redder skin, a tail, and horns. And the idea behind him was he was going to be a fey warlock. And so he grew up in a human city, and everyone bullied him because he looks like a monster. Eventually, he got physically abused. It left a scar on his face, and because of it, he ran off to the woods, never to be seen again. But he ran away, found solitude, found peace, learned magic from it. I decided on warlock instead of druid because it just fit the tiefling idea better. And then he was going to eventually be questing as an adventurer, and anytime there was a moment where civilization was asking for help over nature, he was going to side with nature. I never ended up playing him because I came up with a better version of him, and that guy's name was Rascal. Rascal is another warlock, but this time he ended up with an Inferno Pact. Rascal was an Alu Fiend, so instead of being tiefling and human, he was human and succubus. It gave him the power to transform physically into any other type of humanoid that he'd seen. He could make specific changes or not so specific, so I came up with other characters for him to play himself as. Trevor the Elf, which everyone laughed at because what kind of name was Trevor for an elf? Well, it was the first form I took, and I hadn't put any consideration into a name, and it stuck. Then there was Beardberry, the dwarf form that he had, that I gave a little blue beard because I thought, oh, blue beard, that'd be adorable. And then Flame Tongue, when we had to go deal with some gnolls, I created a form. Since he was a warlock, he had a lot of fire magic and really liked to light his hands on fire with one of his devil powers, so I figured Flame Tongue would be a really fun idea for a gnoll. That guy ended up falling into corruption, and now I'm currently playing a character who's out to kill him. I created my own villain, and I kind of love that. But chronologically, even though Rascal was my first played character, in that universe, I've played other characters. The first one that I completed in that universe was named Louis Mudborn. Mudborn being the polite term, he was born on a manure farm. Taken away because he had the potential for magic, raised by a bunch of, I guess you'd call them kind of like librarians, But the master of the library was a guy who'd been given immortality by the gods. Not something he's fond of, by the way. He's not allowed to die till he can find a suitable replacement, which Louis was up for, but he didn't really get it. But the job is to record everything that the gods are up to. Everything they do, so that it's always known by the mortal races. Louis ends up becoming a stock boy, essentially, until these heroes show up, and then he becomes their... I'm going to go with scribe. Louis becomes their scribe. And because of that, he ends up in a lot of predicaments he wasn't ready for. I played him as a coward. I feel like I could have played him better as a coward, but he definitely was a coward. And he ended up fighting alongside the heroes to stop the Dark Master, which is the name that has been given to that character. Yeah, outside of that, you know, I had one character that I never really got to see much, but his name was Willie. He was a Cyclops. He was a prince, actually. And you might wonder, well, if your name's William, why would you call your Cyclops Willie? Yes, it is a little sad to give a character your own name, but I mostly named him Willie because he was a one-eyed monster who had a lot of sex. It was his character thing, actually. It was my only adventure in 3.5. Louis combined necromancy, the ability to raise and control the undead, with blue magic, which is sex magic. Louis' goal was to spread his seed amongst all the other races because he believed that under the banner of a single eye, every race would be better led. So, for a disgusting fiend, he actually had a pretty beautiful idea for his people and world peace. Not necessarily one that I personally would support, especially since he was also half of the idea behind what my buddy Josh and I call the Necrokazi bomb. A magical bomb we were going to create, combining my necromancy with his alchemy. Essentially, it goes off, it infects a bunch of people with undeath. That undeath causes them to seek out other beings, and then they explode as if they were their own form of the bomb, creating more undead. It would maximize my potential for an army, while minimizing the effort I need to conquer a city. Of course, there's the reality of once you have that city, you can't let anyone living in there, unless you know you or me. But even I was planning to raise myself as an undead at some point, to grant immunity. It was an adventure, and I could probably go on and on and on about my Dungeons and Dragons love, and I probably will at some point. But this is just the 5th episode, and one good thing is and I don't wanna put too much on you because that's not very nice of me. If you like hearing me talk about Dungeons and Dragons, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, please be sure to let me know your one good thing for today. Like, comment, subscribe, the whole lot. I told you to comment a lot. I'm sorry. I gotta get better at that. Thanks for watching, and have a great one.